Is the Talk Shop in Studio 255, live from the Laramie Plains Civic Center. Our guests in studio this morning are on the phone, and it's one guest and one guest alone. That's Reed Reisner, U.S. Senate Wyoming candidate. Reed, are you there? Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you, and I'm here. Absolutely.
Make sure that we've got you on.
You got me.
All right. Good morning, Reed. And you are taking on the formidable task of running a public election campaign. Congratulations to you and your service, your career at this point. For those that don't know you, who is Reed Reisner?
Yeah, I am a fourth-generation Wyomingite, born and raised in Casper, Wyoming, graduate from the University of Wyoming, and a small business owner. I'm a normal, everyday guy who's been asked to run for office by several people for a couple years. And I finally, we decided we could do it, and we're going to do it. And what started out as just a small group of people backing me has turned into a large movement. So we started on August 15th, 2024, and the movement's growing across the state. Support is great. You shared a poll on Facebook from Albany County, right there in Laramie. 77.1% to John's 22.9%. So people are waking up in this state. People are tired of the status quo, of the elitists, and of the career politicians. And I'm the only candidate running in this race, and I'm the only candidate that can beat John Barrasso.
What experience do you bring into your candidacy for U.S. Senate?
I'm a business owner first and foremost, and I'm an American patriot. So I bring common sense, I think, which Congress definitely needs. Just normal, everyday people bringing some common sense legislation to the table, and my strong ethics and business sense. So we're going to balance the budget. It's a high priority. As a financial advisor, I'm a numbers guy. Balancing the budget is a high priority. But first and foremost, securing our border and shutting it down. That would be number one on the list to get done, and making sure that the fentanyl pouring across our border, the sex trafficking, the cartel, this stuff stops on day one.
Denver, Colorado, a noted sanctuary city in the United States. How does that proximity, 89 miles from Cheyenne, influence your decisions and how you run for U.S. Senate?
Well, we have to take a strong, hardline stance, especially in Wyoming. So I actually just a week ago got to meet with law enforcement up in Fremont County, where we got to talk about the cartel being right here in Wyoming and the scary realities that exist. And this is the second time I've got to speak with them about this. So Sanctuary City finally... it looks like they've had enough of the illegal immigrants and the cartel in their city, and they're busing them into Wyoming. These people are bad people, and they're getting established right here in Wyoming. They're trafficking fentanyl, their sex trafficking happening right here in the state. Law enforcement knows about it, and law enforcement needs our help. They need the additional funding, and we've got to clean this up and get it taken care of. And I can't believe no one else is actually talking about this. But it starts at our southern border and shutting it down, a complete shutdown of our southern border while we get our arms around this situation and begin immigration reform. So we have a way for immigrants to come across legally, and then we open the border back up and begin allowing people to come back in. But we've got to get the illegals out of our country before we can do that, and we've got to find out who they are, why they're here, and what they want.
August 20th, 2024. What's the significance of that date?
That is the day we take back Wyoming in America. That is the Wyoming primary. August 20th is the day that Republicans will finally send a decisive blow to the establishment, and it will be the largest blow to the establishment since electing Donald Trump in 2016, when we take out the what looks like going to be the number 2 guy in the United States Senate. And, you know, they just announced he's not going to be majority leader. He's going to try to go for minority whip. give up his seat on the Energy Committee, which is very, very bad for Wyoming. So once again, John is putting his personal interests ahead of Wyoming, and we can't allow this to continue anymore. We've got to keep our seat on the Energy Committee, and we've got to stay focused on what matters most for Wyoming.
Keeping seats has largely been dependent on longevity in Senate and the legislature as a whole. I understand term limits are a big topic of consideration. How does that affect, and doesn't that weaken Wyoming's influence?
It won't weaken Wyoming. We lost our ranking member after we lost Craig Thomas, and were given. John wasn't elected. We were just given. He was appointed to that seat. We got that ranking membership back. We got those seats back. And the way the term limits will work, there will be 3 terms in the House, so you can spend 3 terms in the U.S. House of Representatives, 2 terms in the Senate. You cannot become established in your seat, so this will end the establishment and the career politicians. You can still have a lifetime in office and be a lifetime career politician. You just aren't allowed to become established in that seat. The lobbyists will no longer be able to own you. They might be able to rent you, but it will become very obvious to all of your constituents what you've done. And you can have 3 terms in the House, so 6 years, 2 terms in the Senate, 12 years. That's 18 years. You can have 8 years as governor of Wyoming. We can have a lifetime in the House and the Senate in Wyoming, but we cannot become established in our seats anymore and put ourselves and our pocketbooks ahead of the American people and Wyoming, and that's exactly what we've been seeing happening for so long. Where John's making $2 million a quarter, it looks like $2 million a quarter, while families right here at home suffer to pay their gas bills and are worried about 30% increases of their gas bills because of the likes of Pacific Corp and this Terra nuclear power coming into this state and the carbon-free and Green New Deal initiatives that John is pushing. It's a real shame what's going on. $2 million a quarter he makes, and we have families struggling to put gas in their car, heat their house, or even put food on the table. So August 20th is the day we take our country back and the day we do something right for Wyoming and all of the patriots here in the state.
We're visiting with Reed Reisner, U.S. Senate candidate for 2024 in Wyoming, and this is the Talk Shop, our Studio 255 broadcast from Laramie Plains Civic Center, brought to you in part by I-80 Towing and Automotive Services, the UPS Store, and H&R Block, as well as the Albany County Republican Party. We've got more ahead with you, Reed. We've got a few more questions if you have time.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what's the number one question you're asked on the streets as you campaign since August of 2023?
Oh boy, the number one question, it comes down to border security and it comes down to balancing the budget. Those are the 2 biggest questions I'm asked. We have got to secure the border. This affects Wyoming in great ways that people may not realize yet, but they're going to start realizing as busloads of people, and I get emails about this, there's white buses coming into our state, unloading 20, 30, 40 immigrants into places like Powell, Thermopolis. I get calls and emails from all over the state. The next greatest concern is we have almost $35 trillion in debt with a $2.2 trillion deficit. Americans are suffering, and our dollar is, the value of our dollar is decreasing. What are we going to do, and how are we going to get out of this mess? For 20 years, my opponent has run on balancing the budget and a need for that, but he has then voted to pass every omnibus, cromnibus, minibus, continuing resolution bill that's come across the appropriations desk. And as a ranking member, we're going to talk about ranking membership of the Finance Committee, Mitch McConnell owns John Barrasso and John's vote. John Thune owns these, and Cornyn owns this guy. Wyoming doesn't have a vote. The establishment owns that vote, and we've got to balance the budget. And I have a full balanced budget proposal that I'll be releasing soon. And I will go over everything in detail with everybody. It's a very exciting thing. So those are 2 of the hottest topics that everyone asks me. August 20th, it's all going to change, and I will start work on day 1 after the primary election. I know I have to make it through the general, but day one we'll start work, and we're gonna start doing some great things.
Does the election start when the absentee ballots begin in July?
Yeah, so absentee voting is very important too. In July, we can start sending in early votes, and the election has already started. So it started the day I started campaigning, August 15th. We've been raising money, and the patriots around Wyoming are donating more and more every day, and it is so great. So go to reedreisner.com if you truly want change and you truly want to get the establishment out. I think people are so sick and tired of these career politicians. When I talk to people like Carrie Lake down in Arizona, or I go to Mar-a-Lago and see President Trump, this movement is about getting rid of these career politicians just like John and ending their reign. So reedreisner.com, that's ReidRasner, and you can make a donation right there. Even if it's just $50 or $100, I can tell you it goes a long ways for me. And we use the money very wisely. I don't stay in nice hotels. I've slept in my car, and we're on a shoestring budget, and we're making this happen. But I'm working 16-hour days, 7 days a week. I'll be right down into Laramie actually on, I believe it's April 13th with the Albany County GOP. So I'll be down there here in about a month.
I understand you're in Casper tomorrow at the Ramkota.
And I'm in Casper, Wyoming at the Ramkota for the Natrona County GOP convention, and I'll be there from 5 to 6 before the convention starts in a hospitality room where we're going to have food set up. And if you're coming to Casper, stop by and say hi, shake my hand. I would love to meet you and grab some of the free swag that we got, and ask me any questions you want. I answer all the questions, and I make sure I'm open and honest with everybody about everything that's going on.
You spoke about energy independence. I wish you to take a moment and speak about medical care in Wyoming.
Yeah, so medical care, this is another huge topic. Everything is such a big topic. It just amazes me that for 20 years we've elected a guy who's promised to take care of these things and has never done that. So our insurance premiums are just out of control. We got people paying $1,000 a month with an $8,000 deductible just to have bare bones insurance that doesn't really cover much. So our insurance and medical reforms need to happen. We need to have these. We need to have safe, reliable medicines. Last night I got to speak with a gentleman and a good friend of mine who actually can't get his medicine for his diabetes right now. There's a huge shortage in the United States, and he called Senator Barrasso's office asking about this, and they said they can't help him to call his doctor, to call the pharmacies and try to look for this himself. When there's a shortage in the United States, this man can't survive. He's on his third week without his medicine, just so we're clear. 3 weeks without his medicine. We still don't have it at any of the pharmacies in the state, and it's not looking good for him to get it, and he's quite panicked. So he got to talk to me last night about this. So this is a huge concern for Wyoming residents. Rural health care is so important. Making sure we have access to good medicine and to good doctors is so important in Wyoming, and it's a real shame that our sitting U.S. Senator currently is a former doctor and has done so little for our medical communities right here in Wyoming, and that we're suffering with shortages of these critical drugs for diabetics. It's such a shame to see what's actually happening, but I'm so happy that people are coming to me, telling me their stories, so that I can put a spotlight on them and truly affect change. And after August 20th, we're gonna fix this, and we're gonna make sure that we have access to the best medicine, to the best doctors right here in Wyoming, and rural health care will definitely take precedence. And you will begin seeing a change right away. My 16-hour days aren't going to just stop once the campaign stops. They're going to keep on rolling, and we're going to keep working for Wyoming 100% of the time.
What does it mean to you to represent Wyoming as a U.S. Senator and being approachable throughout your term?
Being approachable and having an open line of communication is the most important. In fact, I told my entire campaign team, I was doing this by myself when I first started this. And I told my campaign team I have to be available to the people of Wyoming when they have questions or they want to call and talk to me. I have to make myself as available as possible. I don't want to be guarded. I said we have to run this like a business, and the constituents are the customer. They are telling us what to do, and we have to listen to them, and we have to talk to them, and they need to have access to me and to our office. And so the entire campaign team has already been instructed on this. Top-notch customer service, just like in my own business. You have full access to me. So I want to make sure that goes into effect after the election, and making sure that we're traveling the state and we're keeping the people informed throughout the state, doing town halls even after elected. This is so important to have open debate in this country and get back to the basics is one of the foundational items that we need to get back to. If we can't go to Albany County, if we can't go to Laramie County, Natrona County, and talk about what's happening in the United States Senate with the constituents, take questions, and then take their concerns back to Washington, then we aren't fully represented. And I'm not sure I've ever been represented under Barrasso. He's never taken a question. He's never emailed me back, and he's yet to email a lot of people back about the questions they're sending in from what I hear and out there. And I'm out there every day talking to people. We talk to hundreds and thousands of people every day across Wyoming, and people are fed up and people are really tired that he's not answering questions. He's not coming back to Wyoming, and when he does, he goes to schools, it looks like, and talks to kids, but he's not actually taking the questions. He can't explain his votes in sending $250 billion to Ukraine. He can't explain his vote against building the border wall in 2019. He can't explain his vote against saving Americans money on prescription drugs and access to prescription drugs back in 2010, I believe. And a lot of his votes he just can't explain, and that's because someone else told him to vote that way, and he's bought and paid for. It's some really bad things happening.
Super Tuesday, just yesterday, around the nation. Any comments or observations as you look at this?
Congratulations to President Trump on a landslide victory. I think he won almost every state. I think there was one, maybe two. I didn't get to watch it. I was in meetings with my team. We went till early this morning, almost. I don't think I got home till after midnight, but I was refreshing my phone. I was watching it. My friends across the country who have reached out to me, who are running for Congress, and I've made great friends over these past 6 months all over the country, were reaching out to me. I was congratulating them. There's some really great things happening across the country. We're getting rid of a lot of career politicians in a lot of states, and the movement is growing, and we have a ton of support. When I talk with guys like J.D. Vance or Senator Ted Cruz, and I talk to these guys, there's a really great backing out there, and it's so exciting to see it happening right here in Wyoming, and the support I receive all over the state is even more. But congratulations to President Trump on his landslide victory. It was truly people are waking up and people are sick of the establishment. That was the undertone message last night. Is this is going to be a defeat the establishment 2024 year.
You've openly endorsed President Trump in the upcoming 2024 election campaign. Any other endorsements from you for other candidates in other races?
I don't have any endorsements right now. However, I did fully endorse President Trump. I was proud to be the first congressional candidate in Wyoming to do so. It was in early December, I believe, that I was flown out to Mar-a-Lago and got to meet with and have an interview with President Trump and his team. So having that opportunity and getting to endorse President Trump was such an honor, and I'm so honored to be doing what I'm doing right here in Wyoming, running for United States Senate. And on August 20th, we're excited for the outcome and to start work for Wyoming immediately and make some true change for Wyoming and get us back on track with energy independence, border security, a balanced budget and getting inflation under control, and making sure that our healthcare costs come down and we get true healthcare reform.
We're visiting this morning with Reed Reisner, U.S. Senate candidate for Wyoming. And this is The Talk Shop. The Talk Shop is produced by me, myself, and I, Eric Henderson, and we do so with The comments expressed here are those of myself and Reed Reisner, my guest, exclusively, and not those of any underwriters or sponsors of the shows. And if you would like to be part of the Campaign Awareness Tour of 2024, we openly invite you. We'll roll out the red carpet and we'll contact you and meet you at your leisure, as well as here during the Talk Shop Monday through Friday. And we'll make that time so that our listeners can know you as well as possible. This is the Campaign Awareness Tour launch with Reed Reisner. Reed, thank you so much for joining us here at the Talk Shop.
Thank you, and make sure you go to my website and donate any amount. It helps us go so far. Thank you so much.